Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping in to see what's next. I know it's been a minute, but there's a lot going on in life. Am I right? I'm sure you've got a lot going on. We've got a lot going on. Today, tons of bowls out. We're going to make 12 or 13 batches of sourdough cinnamon rolls from the recipe from Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone. So let's go ahead and get started. Here I've already put my flour in a bowl just so it's easier to scoop. Every batch is going to get 4 cups of flour, and let's dive right in. I have my measuring cups out already, and I know, again, here I am scooping like I'm not supposed to, but you know, it's all for the conveniences of life. Am I right? Okay. So I've got 4 cups of flour in all these bowls. I may end up using this bowl for one of those, but we'll see when the time comes. But the flour is done. Okay, next thing we will do is the baking powder and the baking soda, and each batch gets, I want to say, 1 teaspoon of each, so that these will be the easiest ingredients. I Yes. See, this is something I'm trying to keep track of, but I'm also finding it difficult. But it shouldn't be. Okay, each one of these is also supposed to get salt, but I skip salt on every recipe I do because I don't like it. These are not sweet. The filling is not sweet, so I don't really find the need to add the salt to counterbalance anything. What else? I do need to add to each one 1/2 cup of honey, and every time I bought honey, it looked like I just didn't have enough, so I would buy more, and then I'd buy more, and I think I spent, let's see, I have five containers of honey because each time I just didn't think I had it covered. Well, this is the most difficult one to open, so the most difficult to open, but should be the easiest to pour. We'll see. Yeah. honey is all done. This I'm going to need to wash off. I'm going to go do that and then we'll be right back. Okay, honey is cleaned up. Counter is doing counter things. The next thing is 2 eggs into each batch. So let's do that. Okay, there we go. 24 eggs all cracked and into their bowls. The next thing is going to be the coconut oil, which I just microwaved, so hopefully it's melted down enough. If not, well, I'll do that. And then we'll start mixing. Okay, so I just realized I can't start mixing because, duh, I'm forgetting the most important part, the starter. Okay. So here is one. I have 2 containers like this, and each batch gets 1/2 cup of starter. So I'm going to start measuring those out now, and then the last thing I'll add is look at how beautiful that is. Looks good. The last thing I'll add is the coconut oil. Try to put this where it won't cook with. There's the coconut oil. I wonder if it's done. I guess we'll see. We'll see when we see it. Next thing, coconut oil. Let's see if it's done. Okay, coconut oil's done. Each batch gets 1/2 cup. This doesn't look like it's going to be enough, which sucks, but that's okay. And I think I'm just going to start with 4 because it's going to get harder to work with the more it cools. So let's dive right into mixing these up. So these can be done in the KitchenAid. They can also be done with good old hands, a spoon, whatever. I've always done it with a spoon. I have never used a mixer for it. So I'm going to just go with my hands. Those 3 are in bowls that are too small. I'm going to have to move those. Okay. Let's get to mixing. I'm going to go ahead and get started with my hands. I'm going to start with this one. For some reason, this one is not incorporating as quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and start here and then just, I guess, move backwards, and then we'll do the last 4. So there's not too much left to mix, thank goodness, because I used the spoon. And I'll just work it a little bit, form it into a ball, and then this will sit overnight. And then in the morning, it'll be nice, and I don't want to say the dough doubles because it doesn't do that. But there will be a little bit of growth to it, a lot more moisture, and it will be ready to be rolled out for cinnamon rolls. Each batch also should make about 12. I am counting on each batch making 8. Did I know why it's dry. I was supposed to add a 1/2 cup of water. Okay, at least I only did 1. Let me get the water and start adding a 1/2 cup. Okay, let's try again. All right, 1/2 cups to everything. You know, I'm actually not too upset that that happened because now that the oil is incorporated into almost all of these, there's not really a chance for it to... Can I put water in here? I don't know. I'm not sure I put water in here. No. Okay. And then this one, probably don't need a 1/2 cup, but there's that. Okay. Yes, this is going to be much better. This one I don't know, maybe I'll do another batch. I definitely have enough to where I can, but because now this dough is already kind of formed, I'm not really sure how to... Yeah, I'm going to put this one to the side. I think I'm going to make it a separate batch. The rest of these, though, perfect now. This is feeling more right. See how it's sticking to my hands? Can't believe I forgot the water. At least I remembered before it was too late on all of them. That would have been really, really horrible. So I have enough ingredients to remake a couple, but not all. That's for certain. there we go. There's 3, 6, 7, 8. And then I have 4 more. Am I going to keep those in those small containers? Okay, all 12 are done. Here's the last guy, or girl, or whatever. Here's the last one. And, oh gosh, these lids are the most finicky. There we go. Okay, 12 are done. I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to get ready for being able to roll out tomorrow. So I'll see you back as soon as I clean up the counter and stack these guys all nice. Now I'm going to pull all the butter out. I'm going to lay out the mat. I'm going to get the rolling pin. I'm going to get the brown sugar. And I'm going to just make sure everything is here for the morning. Also, that flour that I put in that bowl, I'm going to need to put it in a bag because I'll use that to make all the filling. So each batch calls for 1 stick of butter. I don't find that to be adequate, and that's just a personal preference. I like more than the recipe calls for. So here are 16 sticks of butter, and even still this may not be enough. And that's okay. But this is a good starting point. Right. And the recipe calls for softened butter. So hopefully by the morning it's room temp. Okay, there's that. Then let me roll out the mat. Okay, this is a silicone mat. I will use this tomorrow. You can see there's measurements on every side of it. Oh. Oh. It's all stuck to itself there. Perfect. I think I want I'm gonna do it this way so that the inches are on my side. There we go. Okay. to the counter. All right. Perfect. Okay, now this is ready. Next thing. Brown sugar. Let me go grab those. Right. I have my brown sugar. I also have the maple syrup that we'll use inside of the icing. I do have more of this if it's needed. This seems like a decent starting point. Okay, cinnamon. Let me show you what I have left. Don't think it's going to be enough. It looks like I have probably 2/3 of a cup. So definitely not going to be enough. So I'm going to have to put in a grocery order for that to be delivered tomorrow morning, and potentially heavy cream. I'm going to measure what I have. I did just get a brand new one, but I don't want to have to place 2 orders if I only need to place 1. Okay, well, it looks like we're done for tonight, and tomorrow's going to be oh, my rolling pin. Okay, rolling pin's ready. I already measured this out to be a 1/4 inch. That might be a little thin, but I can change that tomorrow. All right, we are done for tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Each batch will take about, it's my stomach, each batch will take about 16 or so minutes in the oven. Let me get the pans too. Okay, pans are here. Pans are ready. And I ordered these. That came in a pack of 35, which is exciting. And they have lids, which is the best part. So these are 8x8s. I'm going to put 4 in each one. And all the lids on top. That would be amazing. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's ready as well. Lids are ready. Put those over here. Those will get put on as they come out of the oven. And I think I'm going to take out a few more butter sticks. And then the last things that'll come out of the refrigerator tomorrow will be the cream cheese and the cream. The cream cheese and the cream. And that is the icing. So, oh, and the vanilla. Let me get the vanilla out too. Yeah, let me get the vanilla out too. Okay. Vanilla's ready to go. All right. Thanks for coming to see what's next, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hang tight with me as I get used to my new microphone. Here in this video, it did not record very well, but what I'm explaining is that the dough in this specific bowl rose so much it popped the lid. So the part that went over and outside of the lid, I tore off and threw away, but the rest of the dough was completely fine. So I dumped it out onto the silicone mat, and I am rolling it out to a 1/4 inch thick. And with cinnamon rolls, if you can roll out the dough into a rectangle, that is going to help you immensely. You can see here that I have cut a piece off, and I do that a couple times just to make it even, and the dough rolls in on itself, so it's truly not a big deal if there's a tiny little hole, because that part's going to be inside the cinnamon roll, so you can't see it. My new rolling pin, which I was so excited about, wasn't actually great for this project because it wasn't wide enough. So I went back to my old rolling pin. Now I am making the cinnamon
brown sugar butter mixture for the inside, and that is for each batch 1 whole stick of butter, but I was doing 2 batches at a time. So I was melting down, not completely, melting till creamy. I was melting down to cream 2 sticks of butter at a time, and then I would add a full cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. So 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon is what makes the inside.
It'd actually be 2 cups of brown sugar. Okay. Notice my heaping scoops. Okay, and then we're gonna do, I believe, 2 tablespoons. Let's see, it should be 4 now. 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now let's get this all mixed up.
All right, so I have made 2 batches of cinnamon roll filling. So I dump half of the entire mixture, so 1 batch of it, onto my dough for my first batch of cinnamon rolls. And I just use a silicone spatula to spread it. I don't spread it thin enough to be able to see any of the dough through it. I like to make sure it's a nice, even, thick layer. So that way when it's rolled, there's a perfect spiral, which ends up baking nicer. So I like it to look nice and taste good.
Have my knife, and these can go here. All right, let's start rolling. I do like to pull these a little tighter so that way the center gets all that yummy cinnamon filling. Yeah, I should have put flour down. This one was an experiment, I'll say that. Okay. Now right here where it's tearing, that's where I have pieced the dough together. So
making
now that I think of it, I think I'm going to look at the recipe because I feel like in the past I have mixed in the baking soda, baking powder the morning of, and with this, I did it last night. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but who knows? We'll see. Okay, so I am at okay, so there's our 5, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Here is the center. And we'll give that a cut. There we go. And then everything should be about 2 inches. 2. These are big cinnamon rolls. 2 and 2. I'm gonna not make these. 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that should be okay. These are big cinnamon rolls. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then let's do here, here, and here. That looks too small. Okay. All right, we'll go here, here, and here. Big cinnamon rolls. Beautiful, but they're still big. Okay, but I will pat these out a little bit. Okay, you can see even the end pieces look beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the pan. The seams I'm going to put all towards the center so that the seams are all kind of facing each other. And I am patting them down. I could have done it to where they were tighter this way. 2 inches seems very big for a cinnamon roll. I think the next ones I'm going to do thicker versus taller. That makes sense. I rolled them out to about 1/4 inch in diameter. So they don't need to be that. That's for certain. They could be 1/2. But look at how beautiful that is. I prefer it like this because you get more filling. Okay. And these will expand a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these ones in the oven. These are beautiful. Oh, these are beautiful. I'm going to pop these ones into the oven and we'll see how these do just based off of my potential lack of following direction, which I'm upset at myself, but I do think they'll come out okay. So let me pop these in and we'll come back, put these in the pans, and just keep the assembly line going. For you, I'm going to try to speed it up, and we'll take a peek when these ones are getting close to done.
This process took over 8 hours to make all 24 batches of cinnamon rolls. You see, the second time I decided to flour the work surface, which helped immensely. And then I just roll out the dough for each one, which is the absolute worst part of making the cinnamon rolls. After I roll them out, just like I did the first one, I spread the filling, which is just brown sugar, cinnamon, and butter, which is why cinnamon rolls are so tasty, because nobody hates brown sugar and butter. And I did 2 batches at a time. So for each batch of dough, that will make 2 sets of cinnamon rolls. So each batch of dough actually made 16 cinnamon rolls, which was really nice.
I am ready to be done with this, but I still have to do all the icing. So hopefully I'm able to do that in one full batch. The timer just went off to pull this batch out of the oven. We'll get another one in and keep moving the assembly line. I do have to butter 2 more pans, and that's it. That will be it, thank goodness. I'm going to do 17 minutes, and let me show you. So let's get the last ones done. Okay, I didn't forget about you, but I also just couldn't any longer. So these are all packaged up. What's left in the oven is the bits and pieces of ends. That's cooking, and I forgot to set a timer, so what are you gonna do? I tried to put too much icing in one pot, so I had to separate it. What are you gonna do? But I'm gonna go ahead and start icing these. Ugh. As you can see, I still have quite a lot of dishes that need to be done. It's just how it goes. So I'm gonna just do 4 at a time. And there we go. Okay. This one's looking good. I really should have a hot pad over here. Okay. All right.
All right, so here I am making the icing for each batch. It is 1 block of cream cheese, a half cup of pure maple syrup, a half a cup of heavy whipping cream, and then vanilla from the heart.
All right. Let's move up, shall we? I had a lot of people asking for extra frosting, but I just can't do that for everyone. So nobody's getting it. I lie. They're probably all getting more than they should. I definitely made enough. So okay. One last one. These guys are big. Woof. I don't know if you can see these ones, but these are some of the bigger ones, that's for certain. Okay. There we go.
Here I have created a little assembly line where I take the covers off a couple or a few at a time and ice them and put the lids back on to help maintain the freshness of them. And I go one by one and make sure they're completely covered with icing the best I can, because we know everybody loves a little extra icing, and the people really did enjoy the icing on these cinnamon rolls. At this point too is when I am getting very, very tired and I just want this project to be over. It was worth it, and I enjoyed it at the beginning, but towards the end, I just wanted to be done.
Bye.